You really don't know who you are. You really don't know what you can do. You really don't know what you can be. No matter what people considers you, you are a duffer. No matter what people considers you, you are good for nothing. No matter what, you are feeling like you are good for nothing and you are not worthy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how do you feel about yourself. It matters how you can feel about yourself. It doesn't matter how people considers you, how people perceive you, how people make you believe. It matters how you can make yourself believe about yourself. The main problem is we consider what people makes us to consider. That is our problem. We perceive ourselves the way people make us to perceive. If people perceive that we are good for nothing, then we consider ourselves we are good for nothing. If people perceive that we can't do anything, then we started believing in this thing that we can do anything. If people perceive that we are slow learner, then we start considering ourselves we are slow learner. If people consider that we won't be able to establish anything, we won't be able to get success, we start believing the thing that people make us to believe. Why we are not capable to believe what we really can believe? Why we are not able to go beyond the limitations that people have set for us? Why we are not able to introspect ourselves? Why we are not able to break the people's belief? Why we are not able to see beyond the people's limitations that people have set for us? But we can set our limits. We can push our limits. We are one of the most beautiful, one of the most advanced, one of the most intelligent creation on this planet Earth. We have the capability to change the reality. We have the capability to change the life. We have the capability to change our situations. We have the capability to change the world. But still we perceive ourselves less. We are not less than anyone else. You are not less than anyone else. You are much more than you consider yourself. But we don't consider ourselves because we are happy to be in a comfort zone. We are happy to accept the people's belief. We are happy by accepting what people throws on us, and we consider what people throws on us that is true. We make that thing true in our life that is really not true. That is false. But we still feel comfortable. And then we think like life is not changing. Then we think like we are not able to establish anything. Then we feel like we are not able to do anything. Then we feel like we are not satisfied in our life. But if we start perceiving ourselves the way people want us to perceive, we won't be able to achieve anything. The moment we start perceiving ourselves in a different way, the moment we start introspecting ourselves, we actually are able to take a first step in ourself, to take our first step in a self-growth, to take a first step to know about ourselves, take a first step in the success that we really need. The moment we start believing in this thing, like we can do anything about which we are capable of, we can become anything which we really are, we can nurture anything for which we have the capability, or we can have all the capabilities that resonate with our personality. The moment we start finding the personality, the moment we start finding our limitations, the moment we start pushing our limitations, the moment we start working on our skill, the moment we start finding our areas, we automatically start changing the people's belief. We automatically start making the people believe what we can believe, what we are believing in ourselves. The moment we start working on our areas, the moment we start feeling changes in ourselves, people automatically adjust their beliefs. People automatically change their perception. But if we have the power to change the perception, we only can change the perception. And We have the power to change the perception. But the thing is, we don't recognize that power. We don't even try to figure out like what we really are. We have lots of possibilities in ourselves. We have lots of superpowers in ourselves. We don't have any kind of limits. And all the limits that we have set, we already have set by ourselves. Life doesn't have any limits. Human don't have any limit. We are limitless. I already have discussed this thing. Our real power is what we really are. And we don't know what we really are. We are everything in ourselves. That's why we have the power of consciousness. That's why we have the power of questioning. That's why we have the power to change everything. That's why we have the power of communicating. That's why we have the power to establish or destroy anything that exists on this planet Earth. We have the power, and we are not less than anyone else. We consider ourselves less the moment we start believing that we are good for nothing, the moment we start living the comfortable life, the moment we start compromising with our life, the moment we start believing that we can't do anything, the moment we start taking ourselves every time in a comfort zone, the moment we start putting ourselves in those situations in which we feel comfortable, the moment we start choosing the easy things, we set our limitations, we set our boundaries. The moment we start remaining in those boundaries, we limit ourselves. And that's how we define ourselves. That is our problem. The real meaning of the life to go beyond the boundary, the real meaning of life to set the boundaries, and every day set new boundaries, and every day define yourself again and again and again. The real fun in the life to push the boundaries, the real fun in the life to find something new, the real fun in the life to know about yourself, to know something new about yourself, to meet your new self. This is the new meaning of the life. That's how we define ourselves. That's how we know ourselves. That's how we know what we really are. That's how we change our life. That's how we change the life of others as well. The moment we start defining ourselves, the moment we keep changing our definitions to define ourselves, people automatically set the belief, but our problem is we set our belief based on the people belief. We change our perceptions based on the people perceptions. We don't even filter out the belief, whether this belief is for us or not. We don't even consider what another person says that is valid for us or not. We just start accept things. We don't choose the belief. We don't choose the word people say. We don't choose the word what we say to the people. And every time we make the choices, but when we choose the belief, we don't choose anything. When we choose the choices, we don't choose anything. What people throws on us, we accept the things. What people say about us, we accept that thing. And we start defining our new personality according to the people's personality. The kind of people have the belief. And we keep living our life with the same kind of belief, by making the same kind of decisions, by doing the same kind of things, by making the same kind of choices. And we consider that we are not successful. We can't be successful. We didn't do anything in our life. We can't do anything in our life. This thing is not for me. Now I become so aged. Now this thing is not for me. I'm not that much young. This thing is not for me. I'm not able to do this thing because I haven't done this thing. We start accepting the things. Why we start accepting the things? Why we don't try to reject the things, that things not for us? The moment we start rejecting the things that people throws on us, the moment we start rejecting all the words that people passes on us, we start defining ourselves. We start changing ourselves. We start making ourselves new. We start writing the story of ourselves the way we really should write the story of our life. But we are not ready to do this thing. We are not ready to introspect ourselves. We are not ready to ask the questions. The moment we start asking the questions, we start defining ourselves. The moment we start asking the questions, we start observing ourselves. The moment we start asking questions that are challenging, we start creating the resilience in ourselves. We start accepting the truth in ourselves. We start radiating all the superpowers, all the positivity from ourselves. And the moment we start asking the questions, we start avoiding, we start declining all the negativity in ourselves. The first step of self-growth to accept what really we are. The first step of self-growth to embrace what we have, or to work on those things. Like if I start defining myself, if I start knowing about myself, I've found so many things, literally so many things. Like if I consider I have the lack of willpower, then it's true, I have the lack of willpower. I start doing so many things, but my focus gets divided, and after a particular time, I'm not able to do the things, and it's ended up doing different kind of things. If I consider I'm not able to make my word because I forget the things, and sometime over the blue something happens, then I consider it's true. Then I consider it's true because so many times something happens, and so many times I forget the things because there are so many things in my mind. I accept this is true, and bit by bit, one by one, I can start working on the things. If I consider I'm not able to make my word, then I start writing what kind of promises I've made. I start tracking all the promises that I've made on a daily basis, and I start tracking record of all the promises date-wise. And at the end of the date, if I made all my promise, then I tick to that date. If I didn't make any promise, then I cross that date. That's how I track. If I track everything, if I need to track everything, if I consider myself, I feel nervous when I'm not able to receive the help, when I'm not able to do anything, then I notice, I write everything in my journal, and I consider like in this situation I feel nervous, and how do I need to react in this situation. And that's how I keep knowing about myself, so that I could define myself in a new way, so that I don't have to accept what people thinks about me, so that I don't have to perceive myself the way people perceive about me. And if I forget the things, I try to remember all the things, I try to write all the things, and I try to find another reason. What can be the reason if I'm forgetting everything? Maybe I have some medical problem, maybe I need to consult with someone professional, maybe some kind of stress I have in my life, maybe something that is in me that is creating the problem, that getting in my way. I try to figure out the areas. We all have some problems in ourselves. We all have some lack in ourselves. We all have some trait in ourselves, but we need to work on our weaknesses and strength. We all have some kind of weaknesses, and I accept my weaknesses, the kind of weaknesses I have. And bit by bit, I'm working on the things. At least I know these are the things. And I keep the track record of 2 to 3 things, and I check or cross according to my daily routine, according to my decisions. And when situation comes up again, at least next time, I consider that situation in a better way. I don't feel overwhelmed if I feel overwhelmed in the previous situation. I don't feel intimidating if I already have felt intimidating in that situation, at least in not that particular level, in not that much extent I feel intimidating. If I feel I have a lack of focus on the particular thing, then next situation, I know that I need to put myself in a focus, and I don't get distracted with anything else. And this thing helps me, my words help me. At least I'm aware. This is how I prepare ourselves. This is how we prepare ourselves. This is how we make our mind that we don't need to do this thing, and we don't do this thing. This is how I make promises with myself, and I don't consider I am less than anyone else, and you don't need to consider that you are less than anyone else. You are limitless, I am limitless, we all are limitless. People have nothing to do just by making perception about ourselves. It may be good, it may be bad. It's not our responsibility to change the people's perception. We can't change the people's perceptions. We can't make people to think about ourselves the way we want. No matter what, we become nice, still people will feel like we are rude. No matter what, we try to do something for the people, and people will still consider we don't do anything for the people. No matter what, we solve the problems of the people, but people will still think that we are not able to give the perfect solutions, the solutions they were looking for. Because we have our own belief, own experiences, they have our own belief, own experiences, own choices, own way to think about anything, and they won't be able to get the solutions. So it's not our responsibility to make people perceive how we want to make them to perceive us. So always define your own perception, work on your own perception. Don't accept the people's beliefs the people want you to accept. Don't define yourself based on the people's perception. You don't know what you can do, and what you can do, no one can do. That's our real power. What another people can do, we can do. We have different personality, we have different traits, we have different skill set, we have different way to think, we have different kind of creativity level. Sometimes in a particular field we are not creative, but in another field we are so creative. And if we are not creative in that field, we are not able to do that thing. It's natural. And if that another person is creative in painting, that person can't be creative in movie making. That person can only make beautiful painting, live painting. And if I consider myself that I am able to make the video, I'm able to write, chances are there's I might not be that much creative if I started editing the video, or if I started creating paintings. I'm not good at painting because I have never done the painting. So everyone has different skill set. Then it doesn't mean that we are good for nothing. It doesn't mean we can't do anything. It doesn't mean we are duffer or we are fool. We are sluggish. It really doesn't mean. We are good in something, we are bad in something. Just accept that thing and work on the good things in which you can become better, you can become best. We can become best. We have to work on those things. It depends on your things, which things you are looking for. It depends on your job, what kind of job you are doing. It depends on what kind of environment you are living. There are so many touch points in this. We are not responsible to receive the people belief. We are not responsible to please the people. We are not responsible to get the people's validation. We don't need the people's validation. The moment we seek the validation, we always keep performing. We always keep harsh on ourselves. We always keep putting ourselves in the challenging situations. Sometimes whatever we do, it's enough. If we have given our 100%, if we have left no stone unturned, it's enough. There are different ways people express themselves. Sometimes they express themselves, it's clearly visible. Sometimes they clap, sometimes they applaud, sometimes they scream, sometimes they shout, sometimes they hug you, sometimes they shake your hand and congratulate you. But sometimes people don't express themselves in the way you expect. And it is the very thing apply on us as well. We can expect the people that they should perceive ourselves in that different way, the way we want them to expect. We can expect the people behavior according to us. It can be different. People can be upset from you no matter what, how much you have done for the people and how did you support the people. People will still feel you didn't do anything for them, because What they were looking for, they didn't get in someone else. And what you did something for else, you did something differently according to your consciousness, according to your belief, according to your skill set, according to your ability to solve the problems. But people will still feel different. They still have the resentment against you. So we are not responsible. What we really are, we only need to think. What we really are, we only need to find ourselves. We don't need to find based on the people's perception. If we put ourselves according to the people's perception, it means we are not ready to find ourselves. We are not ready to define ourselves. The moment we take the charge to define ourselves, then we actually can change our life. Then we actually can create something big in our life. Then we actually live the meaningful life. We need to put our efforts. We need to know what we can be. We need to renunciate our sluggishness, and that's how we will be able to change the life. That's how we will be able to make our life fascinating. So free yourself from the people's belief, free yourself from the people's perception, free yourself from what people think about you, free yourself from the expectations of the people. Stop, live up to the expectations of the other people, live up to the expectations of yourself, and your expectations should be genuine with yourself. The moment you know about your weaknesses and strength, you automatically adjust your expectations. And if you have expectations, then you would able to know that you can live up to with these expectations. Then you won't feel stressed. You won't feel overwhelmed. You won't feel that you are not able to do the things. You would know about your limitations and you would push yourself according to those limitations. And this is the way to live the life. This is the way to live the balanced life. This is the way to live the free life. This is the way to live the ecstatic life. And I consider we all can live this kind of life. And with this beautiful thought, it's time to perceive ourselves the way we perceive. It's time to live ourselves free. It's time to believe in ourselves. It's time to define ourselves in a new way. It's time to meet our whole version of ourselves. It's time to break all the limit. And with this beautiful thought, that's all I've got to say about this. Brings the smiles on everyone's face. Make the world a better place to live. Signing off, Vivek Kumar, your buddy. Bye-bye.